Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Jeter ends his final game with a walk-off single.
Here's the drive to left. That one is long gone.
Welcome to the Long On Podcast. It's me, Michael, and with me as always,
What up?
Steve Ford.
How's it going, man?
Is that step by step?
No, it was You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story, Randy Newman.
Oh, I thought it was like TGIF shit.
Oh, dude, I should. You know what?
Or,
I should do.
Or Family Matters.
Make it back the second time around. Step by step. I should. That'd be fun. Maybe I'll do that for May. I'll just do like a TGIF, like take the theme songs from like Full House and Step by Step and Perfect Strangers and Family Matters, and just do
Perfect
like,
Strangers. There's a throwback.
Mm-hmm. Be like a
When
parody.
TV was
those.
TV, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be fucking sweet.
Remember that? Did you remember that one I sent you? That TikTok? I think it was a TikTok where it's like the same guy did all the theme music for all the TV.
Yeah, I had no
Isn't
idea
that crazy?
until you said it, and I listened to the voice. I was like, that is the same person.
Full House. He did them all. It was like that guy was really running the gamut of fucking
He was,
90s television.
He was pretty much the go-to voice. All right, we're gonna do a 90s theme song here. Let's go with this guy. All right, he'll be good.
This guy's got the voice.
Mhm.
He wrote the shit too. But yeah. So we got a death.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's no way to transition better on that one. So yeah, we have a death. Yep. Another
death and
another death to report here. Phil Garner passed away over the weekend. Was he in his 70s? I can't remember the exact age.
76 years old.
76. Okay. Long-time
Figured
manager.
Talk about him just because, I mean, he was important to the game of baseball in a lot of different ways. I mean, he was one of the few managers that had kind of I would say a longer career in baseball. You don't see managers in the game who have had long careers. I mean, there's some of them, like you have your Joe Torre and what have you, but this guy had a pretty long career. I think he was like 13 years, 14 years in Major League Baseball, and it was a pretty decent career. I mean, he was never going to be a Hall of Fame player, and I doubt he's ever going to be a Hall of Fame manager, but I mean, it was a guy that you kind of remember being like, oh yeah, he was a kind of a staple, kind of like a Ron Gardenhire type of guy.
Sure.
Just never did anything amazing, but was still a pretty solid guy.
Yeah. I mean, led the Astros to their first pennant, as a team there when he was managing them in 2005, I believe. And local ties here. He was the Tigers manager from 2000 to 2002 during those
forgettable years.
Seasons. Yeah, it's the forgettable years. But don't forget that Phil Garner was our manager during that point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just a guy who was very much a staple in the game and around for a very long time. He made his debut in Oakland in '73 and played until '88, and then just a couple of years after that started managed from '92 to 2007. So he was around. Just overall, a really good guy.
Yeah. He was inducted in the Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame back in 2002, which, I mean, Tennessee guy, man, Tennessee through and through. And he was, he passed away in Texas. I don't know if I think that's probably where he ended up. I mean, that's a good call, because I mean, his last manager gig was in Houston.
Yep.
So, I mean, he, just a guy staple, like a staple in the sport of baseball. Had a really good collegiate career as a player. And, it was, I think when he first got drafted, it was by the Expos in the 1970 draft.
Yeah.
And, but he didn't sign. And then he got picked later, was a second overall pick in the 71 draft by the A's. And, and this was a guy, one thing with Phil Garner, he was a strong supporter of, because remember, he managed a lot of these guys in the 90s. He was a strong supporter of getting people like Roger Clemens into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Yep. That's
because he and it's kind of weird too, because it's funny, because I remember there was articles coming out where he's like, because he backed Roger Clemens. That was one guy. He backed Barry Bonds. he backed some of these guys that had some PEDs connected to their name. And I remember when it came out, like about him backing him and everything, then someone says, well, didn't you admit, because did you ever cheat in your career? He goes, yeah, I actually did cheat. He had a corked bat. He hit a home run off I think it was like Gaylord Perry or Warren Spahn. I think it was Gaylord Perry back in the 70s, where he hit a home run with a corked bat, but he never told anybody that. And he just like, yeah, we cheated too.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Gaylord Perry, he was always throwing the illegal spitball, so you might as well fight fire with fire, right? The guy's already cheating on the mound. I'll fucking take a cork bat up there then, and two cheating going up against each other. We'll see what happens. And he won.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. If you go on Lucky Rebel and have two cheaters going off against each other, one on the pitching end, one on the batting, who's going to win, right? And it's like, who cares? It's
who cares?
That's when the game was. Yep. That's when the game was like, Wild West there. But definitely sad with Phil Garner. And just because you're seeing a lot of these guys pass away now, that era of baseball. Late 70s, those late 70s, early 80s guy, early 80s guys definitely are starting to kind of move on, which is really sad for sure. It's
very sad. Yeah.
Really sad.
And Phil Garner.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yep. Moment of silence for the big guy.
Yeah, for the big guy. Yeah. I'll play with my mustache here for Phil, right? Because he always
did have a fucking killer mustache.
Yep.
He was one of the better. Him and Leland. I mean, you had some managers that had some killer fucking mustaches.
So
that's when I remember Phil Garner. I remember the mustache.
Yeah.
That's like the first thing I remember.
I do too.
Elsewhere in baseball. Can the Orioles catch a break, Steve? I mean, that's injury with them.
I'm feeling pretty bad after our prediction show. I was predicting a big bounce back here for Baltimore, but it's going to be kind of hard for them to bounce back if they keep hitting the injury bug. We talked about Jackson Holliday a bit earlier. But we were talking, you and I, before the show, people that were rushed up and a little too soon. Jackson Holliday, he's shut down amid his wrist injury. So. It's not looking good here, is it?
It's not, and especially Ryan Mountcastle. He went out. He's got transferred to the 60-day DL because he had a left foot fracture. Which, when you get a fracture in your foot, that's a really hard injury because it is just because a lot could go wrong. It's not like having a clean. It's almost better to get a clean break.
Yep.
Because there's no more splintering. There's you understand like the process behind it, but if it's a fracture. You got to take it really, really careful. And then, like you said with Jackson Holliday, they put him on the 10-day IL. I honestly think he's going to be later than that. I think he's going to be – they think he's coming back in late April. I think he's going to come back in like mid-May to late May because that injury is another tricky fucking injury. But then you look down the list, Steve. I mean, they already had Zach Eflin go on the 60-day IL on April 1st. So he's out until 27.
I will remember you.
I will remember you. Orioles lineup. You will remember. Adley Rutschman's out with left ankle inflammation. Another 10-day ILer. Tyler O'Neill went out with a bad concussion. I mean,
man. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at on Lucky Rebel here at their Orioles World Series odds, and they're kind of plummeting a little bit here. They're
I can see that
down to a plus 2,800 now to win the World Series. So
you and I talked about them kind of being like Toronto, right? Like we thought, okay, they're gonna bounce back because they had such a good rebuild, and then they took a step back last year. But this was the year, especially with what they did in the offseason, the Pete Alonso signings, what they did with that rotation, and luckily none of their big stars are out. Aside from, I would say, Adley Rutschman is a big star. Jackson Holliday, to me, he's an overrated guy. I haven't seen anything to think that he's going to be the big guy that everybody thought he was going to be. And Ryan Mountcastle is very like an old reliable. Like you knew that he's really good on the cold corner. He's a guy that kind of reminds me of like a Christian Walker, like a Christian Walker-esque type of player. He's going to do some good things for you, but he's not the guy. So
for sure.
Plus you got Pete Alonso at first base, so you're okay. But I think the Orioles could be in trouble with these injuries, but they're just mounting up. And who do you blame for that? I mean, is there anybody to blame, or is it just a string of bad luck? Because you remember the Tigers have had that over the years, where just a bad luck with injuries.
Whenever you see that many injuries pile up on a team, I go to the strength and conditioning team, take a look at that, and just see is there anything that they're doing that could potentially cause this, or not doing, that could potentially cause this, because injuries happen. It's part of the it's part of the game. It's part of story of life there. But if you get so many mounting like this, I would start to look at the strength and conditioning team. The only saving grace, though, that Baltimore has, technically, they are still in first place, is the AL East is kind of wide open right now. There's no one that's really taken the reins and running with it. The Orioles are still tied with the Yankees at 9-7 after the Yankees have come back to earth. I remember we talked about them on last week's show. They were like, it was basically the Yankees and the Dodgers and everybody else, and now the Yankees have started to plummet, down to 9-7 after I think they started like 7-2 or something like that. So they've hit a bit of a skid, and so the only thing Baltimore has, as they try to get healthy here, is that no one's running away with the Eastern Division. So hang your hat on that.
Yeah, and I mean, there's some things like I think one of my hot takes was Toronto won't be the same. They'll miss the playoffs, and right now they're not looking great. But it's so early. It's so hard. I mean, even the Tigers haven't been good. The Pirates are in first place. We don't know if that shit's gonna last.
Yep. It's making me look good though. I'm telling you, the Pirates resurgence here. This is gonna be the Pirates comeback year. So far, I hope it is, bro. So far, it's making me look good, but it's still super early.
Dude, they got the talent to do it. It's not like the talent's not there. Their pitching rotation has been so good. They're not just their rotation, their bullpen, everything's been good, but people didn't consider like, oh my God, like their offense has been amazing. Nobody thought that would happen, but I think they started hot. Was it last year, the year before, they started really hot, and then they just started faltering. So it's really hard until you get about 2 months in or a month and a half in before you can be like, oh yeah, this team might be legit.
I feel like it was last year, because I remember looking through past, I think, rundowns, and one of the things we talked about was the Pirates' hot start. So I feel like it was either last year or the year before, and then obviously we know what happened. Kind of took a dump.
A big steaming pile of dog squeeze for sure.
Small sample size here, so we'll see what happened. But Atlanta's looking pretty good. I'll say that.
Speaking of, right, 10-7 right now.
10-7, a 1-game lead over the surprising Miami Marlins, who actually got swept over the weekend by our Detroit Tigers here. But Atlanta's looking good. We talked about them, I think, a bit in our prediction show too, where we were expecting to bounce back, because they just had so many injuries last year that we were expecting this team to bounce back nicely, and they have. Health, I think, has something to do with it. Looking at their overall starting lineup, they pretty much put almost the same lineup out every day. That their everyday players are staying healthy.
Big fan of that.
Yep, their pitching has been amazing as well. I mean, we got Chris Sale is 3-1. Who'd have the guy, every time we count him out, it seems like he just pops himself right back into it. So. Pitching's been solid. The bullpen's been good. Raciel Iglesias is yet to give up a run yet. He's got 2 saves on the season. Looking good to start. Penn's looking good. You got the pitching, and you got the offense doing its thing. So Atlanta might very well be back, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right, Steven. I like that you mentioned that too, that it's the same lineups. And you look at who their manager is. Remember, they moved on from Snitker and they got Walt Weiss. And
Walt Weiss.
Well, he's a player's coach, but he's also a little hard-nosed. He's kind of in that old school mold like a Jim Leland, right? Where he has no problem calling out his own players, but he also can put an arm around him and be like, hey, kid, truck through it. You're going to be okay. You got the talent to do it. So I think I made the comment last year that Walt Weiss was an interesting hire, because you don't go from Snitker to Walt Weiss, who's primarily been kind of like a minor league guy / bench coach, not really a guy you think like this guy can take, this guy is going to be the head helm guy. You just never really thought that. So good to see, though. I mean, I think you're starting to see the players turn it up. Acuna's turning it up finally. right?
Yep.
You saw him when they got into that big fight, that Braves
That was
match there.
dope,
Where,
yeah.
dude, that was so fucking funny. Did you see Walt Weiss take down? Who did he take down?
That's what's up.
Oh, dude, when they had that fight there with Suarez or Iglesias. Wow, fuck, I forgot the guys who went down, but Walt Weiss jumped. Oh, it was Soler. It was Soler. Remember that? And
Yep. Okay.
he tackled Soler like he did. He tackled him from the lower, like a lower body tackle. I mean, that dude, you knew he's scrapped a few times. Walt Weiss, dude.
Yeah.
And
that's fucking sweet.
Iglesias was like, I think it was Iglesias like punching with the ball in his hand, and it was crazy, which was stupid because if he landed it, then he would have broke his fucking hand.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Walt Weiss just ran out there. John Boy Media has a really funny play-by-play. Walt Weiss like ditches his head. He's like, I'm not letting that get in the way. He's like,
oh my gosh,
goes in there and just tackles him. Yeah, but I'm with you, man. I think the Braves could be back. I'm sure. If you go on Lucky Rebel, I'm sure when you look at the NL East, the Phillies, the Braves, the Mets are going to be the tops there, which the Mets are just always fugazi to me. I don't think they're that team. I just don't think they are.
No, I mean, and showing right now, they're like 7-10, but you mentioned Lucky Rebel. Yeah, it's the Mets are still the tops to win the East at plus 155, and then the Braves have moved up. They've taken over the Phillies for the second spot here at a plus 200. So, wouldn't be surprised if they keep doing this. They'll keep moving themselves up to that top spot. I think in odds, I'd say.
If the Phillies have a bad year this year, do you think they could just say fuck it? We got to disassemble this whole fucking thing and
I think it's very similar going with a past Dave Dombrowski teams. He brought the band back together in hopes that he could one more chance at going at a run at this. And I think if it doesn't happen, it'll be similar to those Tiger teams that Dombrowski had after like 2014, where he just had to decide to start tearing it down. And I think he lost his job right after that. So yeah, it is. So I mean, something similar could happen here, but I mean, you can't keep paying to bring the same people back if the results aren't happening, right? At some point you have to say, fuck it, it's time to turn the page and start again.
Would it be funny if they're like fired Dombrowski? They're like, dude, it's not happening. All of a sudden they're like, new GM sits down. He's like, okay. Let's rebuild from the minor leagues. Let's go to our top prospect. And he looks at it. It's like they're all been traded.
Yes, the Jason Bateman look of the gift that we like to send. He says that smiles, sits down, opens up the prospect rankings, and it's like, we got nothing.
Yeah. He's like, what?
What happened to our prospects? Dombrowski just smoking a cigar, sitting on the beach. I screwed over another franchise from their farm system. Yeah.
The Dombrowski way.
It's the Dombrowski way.
But the Braves are firing on all cylinders. I can see them just being the top because they have the most, on paper, they have the most young talent, in my opinion.
Yep. I completely
agree with that. Going to be interesting to see. Staying in the NL, Steve, I think I found a weakness with the Dodgers. I think I found it.
Dude, they're 12-4. They have a weakness?
I think that, and you think you're like, wow, because they're the best team in baseball, clearly, by a mile. I think I found it. I was like, wait, that could be it. And I think it's their pitching. I think they might have a problem with their back end pitching.
Back end, okay.
He's the guy, Steve.
Okay.
I don't think Sheehan might be the guy. He's 26. I don't know. They're just not looking good.
I mean, that very well could be. If it could be a, come playoff time, it's important to have not only good starting pitching, but you have to have a solid bullpen that you can go to. And, if that back end, because the competition ramps up when you get in the playoffs, it's going to be those 3-2 games, those 2-1 games. You got to have reliable people to shut it down. And I mean, they've had some hiccups here, in so far earlier this year. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on, I think.
Yeah, I think it is too, man. And I mean, they have premier starters, which is good, right? I mean, Yamamoto's really good. Glasnow, all those guys are, yeah. And you got Blake Snell coming back, essentially, right? But I think Roki Sasaki, he's just really young. And I think the most confidence I've ever seen from Roki Sasaki is when he was pitching in relief in the postseason.
Why
not put him in relief? Is it because of how much they're paying him?
probably you don't pay a reliever hundreds of millions of dollars to not start. You don't pay a pitcher that much money to not start. It's
I'm gonna look up his contract.
Okay.
I mean, he's got so his base salary is about $800,000, but that's because he signed
deferred money,
a $6.5 million bonus. Remember, because that's the international. That was part of the international signing pool, so they paid him all the international money.
Yep. Okay.
So I think they're going, well, that's actually smart on them because that's season to season then for right now.
Yep.
That's not horrible.
No. Although they should be a little nervous about Edwin Diaz. I mean, starting out the season, he has an ERA of 6.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
In 6 games, he only has four saves in those 6 appearances there. So that's a little, for the money.
Another weakness, Steve.
Yep. Telling you.
Because their hitting's been amazing.
Something there. Oh yeah. The hittings. I tuned into a game. I watched. It was Jack Leiter versus Ohtani, and Jack Leiter got lit up in that first inning. Ohtani took him deep the first pitch of the game, and it was just all over after that. I think the Dodgers got him for 4 runs in the first inning or something like that. Then Ohtani went deep the next game, and the first pitch of the game was fucking crazy. Their offense definitely is not an issue.
Definitely not an issue. And it's funny because
when you have Pages there, he's batting 6th or 7th, and he's doing fantastic shit. It's Jesus. You're
talking about a guy on a sophomore type of season.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a sophomore season, even though they pulled him a couple of years ago. But this is because last year I think was his full-time playing.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good. And then this year it's wow, you're the best player in baseball right now. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah. I mean,
now,
the league in RBIs.
Who knows if he stays that way, Steve?
Right.
But it's looking really good.
Yeah. I mean, just look at that lineup from top to bottom. They don't even have Mookie Betts right now, though.
They don't have Mookie Betts. I don't think they need him.
No, they don't. Nope. Although it looks like Mookie is going to be back sooner rather than later. I guess he's not showing any more symptoms from his oblique strain, so he'll be back soon. But yeah, I mean, they don't, at this point they don't even fucking need him. They haven't lost a step.
Yeah, and it's weird because I don't think anybody thought the loss of Clayton Kershaw would affect this team because he's been in and out of that rotation for the last 2-3 years.
Right.
So it's not a killer, but. And the top of the rotation, like I said, looks really good, but their back end pitching's a little sus. I mean, I think Robolewski is actually really good, but it's Sheehan and Roki Sasaki that are really. And then now you just mentioned Edwin Diaz and their bullpen.
Nope.
They might have to clean up some things, but the way what you're paying Edwin Diaz, you can't have him suck. He needs to be good.
No, not for the money you gave him in the off season. You can't be getting an ERA north of 6,
I agree, man.
Not closing the door there. So they'll be all right. The Dodgers. I mean, you look on Lucky Rebel, and we talked about it before the season. It's World Series odds is the Dodgers and and everybody else. But it's kind of they have kind of come down to earth slightly. I will say slightly. Looking at the odds here, it's not really slightly. It's plus 195 for them, and then the Yankees are at plus 850. So. Shit, it's basically the Dodgers in the field. Here I am, they kind of come down to. No, they haven't. All right, no, they're just that good.
Tony, this CBA is going to be historic.
Dude, yeah. But enjoy this season while we can. We got to cherish it because this it's going to get ugly in the off season.
Totally agree, bro. Before we move on, because we're going to be talking about an interview here, let's what do you say we hear a word from our sponsor?
All right, let's do it. Whether you're a casual collector or a seasoned card enthusiast, the Penny Sleever is your one-stop shop for all your card protection needs. They carry everything from classic regular sleeves and versatile top loaders in multiple thicknesses, 35-point, 55-point, 75-point, 100-point, and beyond, to premium magnetic card holders and specially graded card sleeves perfect for PSA and SGC slabs. Need resealable bags, team bags, vintage sleeves, or colored top loaders? They have over 71 products in stock, all priced to help you build and protect your collection without breaking the bank. And now they're offering an exclusive promotion just for you. First-time buyers can get 10% off their entire order with promo code LONGGONE. Just visit thepennysleever.com and use that code at checkout. Don't let your valuable cards go unprotected. Shop the Penny Sleever today and see why collectors trust them with their most prized possessions. The Penny Sleever. Premium protection, penny pinching prices. I'm telling you, man, Penny Sleever is they're where it's at. As I sip out my Penny Sleever mug here. Oh, you're showing off your supplies there. Great product, affordable prices, affordable shipping. Anything 0 to 59, it's a $7 flat rate. Anything more than 59, you get your shipping free. So, in an economy where everything seems to be super expensive, Penny Sleever is keeping those prices down to keep your collection looking good. So, good people.
Yeah, especially when you say penny pinching.
Hell yeah. I'm going to that should be like part of, you should get like a sound machine or something where you can just press a button and that just shows up every so often. Penny
oh, dude, I say penny pinching prices like 10 times. Using the magnetic sleeves. Look at that fucking Murakami I got, dude.
Oh, that's fucking, oh, did you get that
Japanese
on Whatnot?
card. Yeah.
Nice. That's
Sick.
what's it's a Japanese card.
Oh, dude, and this I got this. I mean, this guy's a cheater, but a slideshow Barry Bonds. Look at it's like a slide.
Oh, okay, that's dope. Yeah.
See my finger behind it? It's like a slide.
Oh, that's
I've been
cool.
putting
Yeah.
The penny sleever magnetic stuff to use.
Yep.
Have one that I think you're gonna like. Griffey.
Oh, I'm jealous. Shit, that's nice. What year is that?
That is a 95.
Okay. Yeah, I was at our local Legends here on Sunday, and I picked up some Griffies that I didn't have for my collection. So I basically, when I get Griffey cards, it's always Seattle Mariners Griffey. I like to just block out Cincinnati Reds Griffey. So
I do too. I pretended it was never about Cincinnati.
Yeah. So like I was picked up like 4 or 5 90s Griffies that I hadn't had in my collection. So it was good pick.
That's one thing about Griffey, man. His cards are just always awesome. Like they'll throw different they've always used to throw different variations with them. I have one, I don't know if you can see way back there with a little shoe inside of it.
Oh yeah, yep.
Fuck it, I love Griffey cards, man.
I do too, man. So,
I love it. So get yourself some penny sleever.
Yep.
Steve, we got an interview this week, a pretty big interview.
Big shoe.
The big shoe. The big shoe with the big guy. His name's Doug Glanville.
Yeah, that was a fun interview. Cool guy.
That was fun.
Yep.
Smart guy. Doug Glanville.
Smart guy, man.
Yeah. He played for a bunch of different teams, most notably the Cubs and the Phillies.
Yep.
And we're going to get into it with Doug Glanville. We talk a little bit about his career, and he tackles analytics versus talent, which is I really love to watch. And former major leaguer Doug Glanville.
Enjoy.
All right, joining us today is a guy who's done just about everything in the game. 13 years in the big leagues, Ivy League graduate, author, and one of the most thoughtful voices covering baseball today, who gives you a deeper look that we don't quite see from everybody else. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Doug Glanville.
No, it's my pleasure to be here. It's been quite a journey in baseball, so I'm just thankful I'm still able to do what I'm doing and still be around the game. So here's to many more years.
For sure.
Absolutely. I went to I did a hell of a lot. I was like, I want to dig into his draft class. So I kind of want to go to the beginning with you real quick. And that's kind of how we start a lot of our guests out. We'll go to the beginning and kind of work to where they are now. And I was looking at the 91 draft class. You were drafted, 12th overall to the Chicago Cubs.
Yes.
And that was I think that, when you think 90s baseball, that's a 90s baseball draft class. Dimitri Young, right? Manny Ramirez, Cliff Floyd, come on, Sean Green.
Jeez.
My question to you is, how did you know when you were going to be pro, when you were like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going to be pro?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, the dream was always there, of course, before. And I have an older brother who is 8 years older, and he taught me everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was expecting it, not only for himself, but just like he could be the coach of the younger brother that makes it. And so he mapped out my career. He is like, you're going to play wiffle ball, then you're going to do stick ball, Stratomatic. I mean, he had it all mapped out. And so I kind of had the mentality like this is possible before I really actually connected the dots. And so through high school, I got to high school and I was like, okay, there's some scouts floating around here. I'm making the state all-star team, and then sure enough, the fact that the possibility of being drafted was floating around. So I saw that as okay, but I understood there was a hierarchy in the minors and you're not guaranteed to make it. But eventually, probably through the college ranks, when I played in the Cape Cod Summer League, I think that was the moment. Like, I'm not only going to get drafted, I'm going to probably be a first round draft pick. And I figured the first round draft picks have a good shot of making it.
Yeah.
And so things started to fall in line then, even though there was still a long ways from Cape Cod to, Wrigley Field. I felt like I'd have a good shot at that time.
Wow. Well, I mean, you went to Penn, you studied engineering while also playing baseball, and had that unique path to get to professional baseball. Can you walk us through how you balance those two worlds of engineering and baseball, and how did your engineering background influence your approach to baseball and your career even after playing?
Yeah, it was quite a balance. I mean, I think a lot of that shook out because the recruiting process kind of made you make that decision. Okay, so I can go to more baseball-oriented programs, certainly. And then now, like, I have these, 70, 80 game schedules. And I wanted to be an engineer, and I was kind of worried about, I applied to Duke, and I was like, I don't know, they have this like huge fall schedule, and they're so the Ivy League was introduced to me from a baseball standpoint by going to Princeton baseball camp, and I spent a couple weeks there over 2 summers. And I was like, oh, this Ivy League thing could work. And my parents were, all in. They were the first generation in both their families to go to college. So it started to come together. My mom was a teacher as well. So the Ivy League had the 40 game schedule, you had the summer ball, and I started to feel like that was sort of the tone setter of, okay, I might be able to balance this. If I can, survive here with engineering and then also be able to, be a good ball player on the field, then I could pull it off. So as I went up the ranks in Cape Cod and showed that I could do both, it became more than a possibility. So come draft time, I had to kind of convince programs and organizations like, no, I'm committed to this, but I have to, I want to get my degree. I want to finish in the fall, and then I'll take the spring off to play. And that didn't really go over well initially, but
Right.
but so it was a challenge. I don't think many people, or there were certainly a lot of people that weren't quite bought into being able to do both. I think it was seen as a negative to the fact that I was prioritizing so much this academic world. But to your question around how did that help me? Well, I think balancing such a tough academic world and baseball helped me a lot in organizing my life and schedule. I think the analytics side helped me a lot to just sort of think about the game in a tactical way, which I always loved by playing Stratomatic with my brother growing up. So in the end, I think it paid dividends, but it took a while. It was kind of a delayed gratification or sort of delayed benefit.
For sure.
Would you say now? You mentioned your brother a couple times now. Would you say family was really important to you? Was that something that you kind of leaned on as you grew as a ball player and as a young man?
Oh, definitely. I mean, because you have, first of all, my dad was from Trinidad and Tobago, so he, came to the U.S. in the mid '50s. He was a physician, ultimately a psychiatrist. My mom came from, sort of the Jim Crow South in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, and she, became an educator and the oldest in her family. So she went to Hampton, then Institute, and ended up, a successful teacher for many years. So they set the tone on like the balance of life, academics, priorities, sort of knowing that you have to kind of go to the next level. And then I had my brother who just had a passion for the game. It was like he gave me that determination, pride in the back of, the name on the back, the name on the front, kind of thing. I loved chasing him because he was older. So I had that kind of target.
Yeah.
I have memories of my first time playing against him. It was, it was just, so I think I had a really great support system on a lot of levels. And like my parents were checking me. They were like, you don't plan for a fantasy. Okay, this is cool, but you don't build your life and put all your eggs in this basket, knowing that at the best, you're 35 and retired or something. So, see, I think there was a lot of, preparation around that idea that you have to prepare for that second career. and then being able to convince professional organizations that didn't mean I wasn't committed. You know,
Right.
I think that was, sometimes a very challenging balance.
Well, I mean, you parlayed it into a 15-year MLB career. You played for multiple teams, including the Cubs, the Phillies, the Rangers. What do you think allowed you to stay in the game for so long? And can you think of any pivotal moments where you questioned whether you'd not only get to the majors but stay there as long as you did?
Yeah, well, I did have that 15 years pro career, but the big leagues
Yeah.
was 9 of it. So
Okay.
but it was a great run. Yeah, I say every player has those moments of like, whoa, okay, I don't know. The thing that was interesting is I didn't have too many moments of like I quit.
Hmm.
I had one of those one spring training because they were demoting me after a really good spring with the Double-A team. It was a new regime, and I felt like that was just getting a lot of heat about like trying to set my schedule in college for the fall when I was it was just a lot of stuff, but I never really seriously was like, I'm done.
Hmm.
But I did know that, this was a journey, and I figured that out quickly. Like, oh, wait a minute, first round pick, but adjusting to the minors, and it was a whole nother world. And I think it played out ultimately well from the standpoint of socially adapting and not being like the brainiac and all that stuff, trying to like fit in, right?
Hmm.
And but I kind of found comfort in my own path, and there was definitely detractors, which in the end you have to thank as well as supporters. There was, I feel like my AAA manager and I were like absolutely oil and water, whatever's worse than oil and water. It was like TNT and C4 or something. I
Hmm.
don't know. So we had but I think that was a test in many ways, and I guess I can look back in retrospect, say I made it, and now I can look at it this way.
Hmm.
But at the time, it was really hard because we just had a lot of bad blood.
Yeah.
And I felt like what was I doing? I didn't feel like I was doing a lot other than trying to learn the game.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of redemption going to Puerto Rico and winter ball. So I think for every example you could say this is terrible, there was always someone that if you're kind of an optimist as I am, I'm like, well, this guy's helping me over here. So not everybody's bad in this equation. And even the things that I think are bad are lessons. So but yeah, it was tough, and I think even getting to the big leagues, you realize that you inherently, as a competitor, just keep moving the goalposts on your own.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, I just want to get there. No, no, no. Wait a minute. Now I want to stay.
Yeah.
Now I
Yep.
want to be. Well, I want a starter. Now I want to be an all-star. Now I want to.
Oh, for
So
sure.
you don't stop, and that's what kind of part of what your DNA tells you about being really competitive.
Is there somebody in that you leaned on in terms of like a player and or coach that really helped your career kind of blossom?
There's quite a few. I mean, there's quite a few. I kind of fall back on someone like Tom Gamboa. Tom Gamboa was my manager in winter ball in Puerto Rico, but he started as a kind of minor league coordinator, and at least my interaction started with him there with the Cubs. And after that really one of the nightmare seasons in AAA with the manager I mentioned that kind of buried me. I went to this fall league pretty kind of edgy because I was very frustrated, and I remember Gamboa was coaching and he wanted me to like show me my steal, and he said something and I kind of snapped at him because I'd just been beat down all season long.
Yeah.
And he was like, whoa, 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 so he pulled me aside, and the thing about Gamby, he was very honest. He's like, listen, a lot of people think that you're kind of at a crossroad, you're not going to make it, whatever. I see the talent, but we got to like figure out how to like have a better interaction here. And I kind of told him what was going on in AAA, and I think he then understood because it was excessive.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he used to say like, look, if you look at the back of your baseball card, if it ended at AAA, you would still have great stories, and people would never have faulted you, saying, hey, I ran into this really tough manager. He didn't like me, whatever. And that was kind of the end. He said you could give him that power, or you could go around him or through him or over him, and then look back and say, yeah, that was part of the journey, right? So you don't have total control over that, injuries, things, but he helped me he changed my perspective. So I did really well in that fall league. And to my surprise, he said, look, I was going to send you to Mexico in this really tough town, I'm going to bring you to Puerto Rico with me because I think you could help me win. And that was a big vote of confidence. And not only did I play out of my mind, I won MVP of the league and then came back the next year. We won the championship. I mean, and I was 2-time All-Star. I just found my space in Puerto Rico with the people and the culture and the coaches, and it just, changed everything. So I'd say he's, one of the top people I'd mention in terms of a coach that believed in me, but also was like, no, you need to believe this, right? Kind of, and was so positive. Like he'd always say, we'd lose a game and we were really good, so we didn't lose a lot. And he said, fellas, we didn't lose tonight. We just ran out of innings.
Hey, that's a good.
Go get them
I like
tomorrow.
that. I like that.
Real positive guy.
Well, I want to go back to the 2003 and that Cubs team that you were on that was so close to the World Series. What were your thoughts about that team and just you ran into a Marlins team and just that epic 7-game series in the NLCS, which I believe you had the game-winning triple in the 11th inning of Game 3. Just what are your thoughts on that 2003 Cubs team?
Yeah, I mean, that was my magic. That was the time, because you think about how I got there. I was drafted by the Cubs, came up with the Cubs. They traded me, played center field, Phillies, and they traded back for me. And I wasn't playing as much as I thought I should have been or wanted when I got traded, but but then again, that was my first time ever really being in a full-blown pennant race where we ended up winning. And and I trusted Dusty Baker as a great manager. So I think I had to put ego aside and learn how to kind of like, okay, we could win something. So that was really special. It was late in my career. So I was like, this is it. This is the journey. But that team was really incredible. We loved each other. We had diversity. We had Dusty. We had a great pitching staff. We had a shot. We had a great shot of winning. And we were obviously really close. But then you look back and you say, the Marlins were a bunch of Hall of Famers. I mean, they were a great team. I mean, you look back and whether it's Cabrera, young Cabrera, and then you have Derek Lee and Sheffield and Pudge and all. I mean, they were loaded, and they had pretty good arms too. So, they just had their moment. They figured out, they got the break, they took advantage of it. So that was hard because I think every player looks back and say, what if, we could have done this. And what I try to tell myself, is there's what if you're looking at it like everything should go well and for your benefit. Right. And there's what if you could have gotten hurt and not even made it. Right. And that's much more often the story. So I try to step back and take a deep breath to know, I was close to getting to a World Series, but I was also close to being buried in AAA somewhere or an injury away. So it's a tough game. And, I realized like I wouldn't trade how it turned out, even if I still have that itch of like, I'm striving for more.
For sure.
How did the clubhouse culture differ between the Chicago Cubs and the Phillies? Were they very much the same or were they pretty contrast?
They were really different, actually. And part of it, was it an organizational thing possibly, but there was also, I remember the Cubs, I was the young guy coming up, and then there was a bunch of like married old dudes on my team, right? There was like Sean Dunston, Mark Grace, So I was like, okay, I didn't feel like I could say anything around here. And then you had these veterans, Dusty Baker, Fergie Jenkins, Ron Santo, it was just like legacy. So it was different. And then, and I got along great with Jim Riggleman. He was just like very positive and reminded me of Tom Gamboa. To this day, I keep in touch with Riggs. The Phillies, that was like, I'm part of the group here. I'm the young guy, or I'm part of the core. So that was a blast. I mean, Jimmy Rollins coming up and Abreu, Rowland, Schilling. We had some talent in there. We just couldn't get around the Braves, as nobody could get around those guys. But it was different teams. It was, I thought the Phillies, we were like always a couple arms away and always something away. But wasn't the time. So it was great to see Jimmy and that generation come and then be so successful because, felt like I, helped raise those guys a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doing, commentating, analysts, writing and all that after the game, how do you approach that, going to the ballpark? Do you approach it, differently when you're covering a team as opposed to when you're there as a player? Like what's the differences that you see in interacting with the players and things like that?
Yeah, it's something that's had to evolve a lot. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect when I started at ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
I was a writer coming in, so to speak. I'd written for New York Times, and I was really proud of that. And I came in, and I didn't even expect to be on TV as much. And then they were like, "Hey, do this," you know. So it really accidentally led to what I'm doing now with all this commentary, because I really thought of it as like a slow, poetic walk in writing and journalism. And I took this detour in a good way that led to so many changes. But I think, when I interviewed with ESPN, I did this one interview where they gave you a game, they gave you notes from a game, like I guess it was months before. And then they put you in a room with like Carl Ravitch, and you have to call 4 innings.
Oh,
And so I called the game, and it worked out great, because like there was a lot of guys playing that I played with. It was like Paul Bird and all that, so I knew all these secrets. And the one thing I did that turned out to be different, and the guy told me, he said nobody's done this in 20 years, so I think that's how I got the job, was when there was like pauses or different moments, I would bring up something like, "Hey, and Carl, the Cardinals clinched last night. Isn't that amazing?" So I did that, and I remember Conan O'Brien had a prop fall on his head that night of the game, and he got like a concussion or something, right?
right.
And then Ichiro's hitting streak ended. It was like this random stuff. So Carl's kind of going with it, and we're talking, and then it ends. And I go out, and they ask me about, well, can you be like Barkley or Stephen A, or what's your style? I was like, well, don't hire me if you want me to be like Stephen A.
Right, right.
I'm going to be like, I'm going to approach it like with like teaching and learning and like humility and calm. But, I kind of I said, this is who I am. So you could take me or not. Right. So, and then at some point when they hired me, they said, it was months later, he said, "I just want to tell you something. I've been doing this for 20 plus years, and nobody's ever done what you did with all that other stuff." He's like, "Where did you get that from?" He's like, "Well, I figured you gave me the date of the game. So instead of just looking at the Red Sox and the Yankees, I looked up what else happened that day in baseball in the
that's
world,
good. That's
figuring
good.
we would talk about it." So those things I brought in actually happened that game. So I got the job, and so, and it wasn't, look, I was when it came to the mechanics, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember going in a Baseball Tonight set. It was a mock set, and they literally used my own highlights, and I still got it all wrong, because I was like, there were cameras here.
Yeah.
There was people in your ear. There was sheets of paper sliding across the desk, guys talking to you. It was in the screening room, so there's people behind you. I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, I bombed this interview. But Carl and others said, your content is what separates you. You could learn the mechanics. Don't worry about that.
That's
So
awesome.
I had a lot of support going in. And so I've learned the game of like the humility of remembering this game is hard. And talking to players in ways that like you connect, but you're also not like, hey, the way we used to do it is, like you try to like respect like where these players are bringing the game forward in a different way. I think there's, this is something Alex Rodriguez said to me. It was actually really profound. He was still playing. And he said to me, "I like your work." And I played with him at some point. "I like your work." He said, "Now you can get famous with what you do in 2 ways. You could rip people, or you could educate people." He's like, "And I appreciate that you try to teach and don't try to like destroy people." So I think that's kind of stayed with me, like as something I think about. And I think I've learned to get really a lot better with the mechanics and the cadences and the timing. I've done radio, interviews, post game, pre game. ESPN throws you in every fire, and I'm grateful for it, because I've learned so many facets of how to call a game and how to be effective as a communicator.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's wow. There's a question I have that I've been saving for a guest, and I always keep it in the background, and I always think, well, I don't know if this is the right person to answer this, but I think we found it, Steve. I think this is the person to answer this question finally. And it's, I don't know, it sounds simple, but I think it's more because I grew up playing the game, so I think it's a little bit more hard. But how do you balance analytics versus feel when talking about the game today? Because I think that's a question that's just it's overlooked.
It is overlooked, and it's a very important question. I think that, well, you look at how I use the word evolution a lot in that, because when I was playing, 90s, early 2000s, mid 2000s, I guess, there was data, there was information, there was analytics, there was strategy. We used this information, and now it wasn't as readily available. We didn't have servers and iPads and things like that, but you had to understand the tactical side of the game. So it is part of baseball. It has been part of baseball, and there was always a conversation about how to create equilibrium between the two. You didn't want to, because think about, I was the Ivy League dude, so I was accused of like inherently going to overthink things, right? So I always was aware as an engineer of like, okay, I want to find a space where I just play. I just don't think I react. I have instincts. I had to already grapple with that as who I was and what background I was coming into the game, and sometimes what I was accused of, right? So I think I had a sensitivity to the value of data and information, but also knowing that you have to have some sort of balance between the two. And I feel like the ebbs and flows of that equation is constantly in flux, right? There's debate. Sometimes you see organizations like, okay, that's just too much emphasis on, like, guys throwing a five innings, no hits, no runs, and it's the third time around, let's just take them out, right? You're always like, okay, I understand that. But then the soul of the game sometimes tells you, like, I want to see, I always use this example, but I wanted to see Kyle Hendricks go into the eighth, because there's something about that we all can relate to about, okay, I don't have the perfect conditions. I don't have even the percentages, the probabilities, but they're still just data points of probability. And the thing that we love about the sport, what I think we love about baseball, is that when you do the improbable, like why is Kirk Gibson's call so magical? Because Vin Scully put it exactly how you put it. The improbable, right? And the impossible, right? You want to see that. You want that. And if you're leaning so much in being risk averse to everything, you lose that moment that people can go, yeah, that, Miguel Rojas coming off the bench, playing second base and making this play and then hitting a home run. He didn't hit a home run off a right-hander, that wasn't a position player all season long. That's what we live for, right? And there's no data for that. And so I think you are compelled as a lover of the game that you make sure you do keep that balance, with a great respect that there's more information now than ever, and it's useful and it's important, it informs you. And, but you also want to make sure that it can't be all about the data. And I think so the way you do is you have to constantly engage in that conversation. And not just because I'm an analyst or a player, it should come from the fans, because you want to know where you're at with it and what you want. And you realize a lot of things that matter the most, you can't quantify. You can't. So I get the preparation. One example is I played shallow as a center fielder. And I remember interviewing Kevin Kiermaier, who played really deep. The analytics tell you, play deep, because you take away the damage, the doubles, the triples, the homers, maybe. You take away. Fine, let the home run hitter hit the single in front of you. Right? Now I came up with like, I don't want to give up any hits, right? So so I get the analytics would say these guys are more effective because they play deeper. But that's because the weight is putting emphasis on damage, which is probably right to win a ball game. But is that the purity of playing a good center field? Jimmy Pearsall will probably say no, rest in peace. So I think it's like you have to know that inside those numbers, there's more. And just like as an engineer, I was part of education that, you discovered this, and then 10 years later you discover something else. You're never done with the science. And somewhere in there you will have to have the humility to know you don't have all the answers, and that you are trading something off to fully emphasize one side or the other. And baseball, I think, thrives in that equilibrium.
Wow. Well said. Yeah. You
Well
picked a good
said.
person for the question there, Mike.
Yeah,
fantastic.
absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I don't have any more. Mike, do you have any more questions? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I got a
Yeah.
fun one before
Okay.
we wrap up here.
Yeah.
So, okay. Steve and I, we do this series. We call it the Then and Now series, and we take a decade, right? It could be any decade, the 50s, 60s, whatever. This year we chose the 90s, and we took the best, and we go by position, right? And every week we do a new position. We each take the best top 5 players at that position and compare them to the good ones of now, the great ones of now, who are the best ones of now. Because MLB Network, they do the right now, their now series. So I want you to build an outfield for me of when you played. Who would
Ooh.
that outfield for you? That's hard.
Yeah.
There's only
That's
3.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to check my memory too. Well, I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean,
Right.
Let's go.
I think that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need some name. Larry Walker's probably in there.
I mean, Larry's in there. I mean,
Slamming Sammy Sosa.
Sosa,
if you go, the numbers game.
yeah.
Yeah, those are 3 pretty good ones.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm missing somebody. But juniors, that's an easy
I mean,
one.
yeah, there's some good one. There was Juan Gonzalez played when he
Yeah.
was Texas.
Yeah, Juan.
Yeah.
I played with Juan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a pure hitter, man.
Yeah.
Pure. Yeah, he was a dominant hitter. Yeah, I'd have to go. Well, usually I go through like the league and think about like one after the other. Who put up the numbers those years?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good outfield there. I mean,
I would say so.
I concede
That's a
to
really
the
good
audience
outfield.
that I'm probably forgetting somebody.
I mean, well, we know
Hall of
the
Fame.
king, right? I mean, we know Barry Bonds, is the
Yeah.
the
Oh
top.
yeah, of course. So there's Bonds.
If we're doing a numbers game.
Yeah, well, that's right. So Bonds, you put Bonds in there. I think he probably punches Sosa out, and then you have Walker and Griffey.
Yeah.
Walker's. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good one.
I would say
I know a lot.
I'd take that.
Yeah, I know. Like Steve and I, we debated like Tony Gwynn. We're like, well, was he better in the '80s or was he better in the '90s?
Yeah.
And his games were very much similar in the '80s and '90s, but I feel like he was a little better in shape in the '80s. I don't know. He looked a little bit different in the '80s. I think the '80s were his best decade.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony. Look, I mean, that's like the greatest hitter.
Sure.
I mean,
right.
I think, I think my bias is that I do associate him earlier, and maybe that's not right because Bonds definitely, hit in the 80s as well.
Yeah.
So I think, so I think that's part of like, okay, making me think through it a little better. But yeah, Gwynn, what a hitter! I mean, I remember playing in San Diego one day. I was in the. It's kind of shaded over to left center. I noticed that in batting practice, as the lights came on, there was a bank of lights that were off. And I was like, that's weird. So I asked the grounds crew or something. He's like, how do you have a whole bank of lights off? You're going to lose the ball. He said, Gwynn turns it off. He doesn't want it on because he loses balls, low line drives and that. So that bank is going to stay off. Okay.
It's like, all right,
so
there we go.
He thought of everything. So yeah, Gwynn, wow. Yeah, I can't forget him. But yes, it depends on where you put him. I guess that's part of it. But Bonds, yeah, when was Bonds' first year? I want to make sure I got it right. I think it's like, I think he was 80-something.
86.
Yeah, maybe 6. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I'll say this. I played against some really great players, and there was something really kind of magical and fun about the 90s. It had its own signature. But I think the but, of course, and you know where I'll go with this, unfortunately, is to just, the steroids and the PEDs.
It's a tough one.
Unfortunately, landed on some of the greatest players of that era. And it's just hard to disaggregate, the greatness from the shortcuts, from the cheating, from the, that's just, it's kind of part of like, I have a blind spot with Bonds. And I just, I don't know how to think of these guys. And even as an analyst years later, it's just hard to contextualize. And that's the sad thing about it. Like you lose decades because you're not sure the numbers were real. You're not sure what you were seeing. It feels like it was deception. So that is, it's made it hard for me to evaluate greatness from my own era, which is kind of frustrating, but it's sort of the byproduct of it.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, Doug, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah.
We could listen to you all day. I mean, it's just
it's a lot
absolutely. Of fun. Everybody, be sure if you are on Substack, Doug, you have a Substack. Welcome to Glanville, right? Which can be found on DougGlanville.substack.com. Am I in the ballpark?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. I love writing. That's how I got into the media space and love the intersection of baseball, culture, sports, life.
Yeah.
And this was my passion project. I just started, and I wanted to interact with the fans and be reciprocal.
Yeah.
And so I try to write, more than just, hey, breaking news. I just try to write about the storytelling and just the love. And so I talk about having an alias on the road, and I talk about, tributes, a lot of tributes to people we've lost. The most recent one was about being on the same team, but yet, as you grow older, the things that most matter to you are a lot of the things you didn't talk about in the clubhouse, politics, whatever it is. And I think I sort of had this discussion about how we grew differently, even though we were the teammates as younger people, and like what to do with that when you're like on different political sides of the aisle or whatever you want to call it, or just beliefs or whatever it may be. So I explore a lot of these things, and I always welcome interaction with fans to hear, because I'm a fan, so I just try to go back to those roots, and I found it to be such a wonderful community, and the freedom to just write on anything and try to bring a different perspective on it.
Real quick, do you think you're going to do another book? I'm an author too, and I love baseball books. So the game from where I stand, I think that was a 2011, 2010 published. Are you looking to do another one?
I'm always looking. I'm always looking. I feel like I want to get it just right, and I'm not quite. I'm loving what I'm doing now, and I'm pretty busy, so I'm trying to figure it out. But I have a couple of projects I'm thinking about, and but yeah, it's in there for sure. And the Substack, I keep going. I'm like, gosh, like maybe at some point I'm going to tie all these things together.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's in there, and but I feel like yes, one day there'll be another one.
I always thought writing a book is the most self-fulfilling yet loneliest thing you can do. It is so lonely writing a book.
It is. Well, how I dealt with that, I had good advisors before going in, and every time I had like a fact check or something, instead of just looking it up, I actually called people. So it was like to make sure. So I talked to like everybody in that book. Again, Carl Everett, whoever. I tried, and I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus without really verifying things. So if I, just in case. So yeah, that made it a little less lonely. Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. Well, Doug, thank you so much for your time, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Doug,
thanks for having me on, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
See you.
Dougie
Doug. All right. Coming back.
Do you think Doug did the Dougie at one time?
Oh, he totally did. I mean, we should have asked him that in the interview, right?
No, shut up. Fuck. Missed opportunity.
Doug, did you ever do the Dougie? Yeah, you totally
Doug,
did.
you ever do the
You
Dougie?
totally did, didn't you son of a bitch? All right.
I mean, he's a straight-laced guy, so he'd probably be like, what the fuck are you guys talking
I'd be like,
about?
what are you talking about? Sure.
You know what it reminds me of?
Who's that?
It just says his personality, a lot of like Curtis Granderson.
Yes. Yep.
Very articulate, very the way he talks is educated. He has like everything, like his
well thought out everything he
very
says.
thought out, very and he's very calm too, like a very calm guy. I'm telling you, if like the world's ending, I might want to go with Doug Glanville. That guy seems like he'd be pretty.
If Doug has a bunker, I'm totally gonna bunk in that one because he's the kind of person I'd want to be with when the zombies take over, right?
Yeah, you'd be the guy.
Yep.
Like, what's worth Doug Glanville?
That's right. Team Glanville. All right.
Team Glanville.
Oh boy, yeah, Doug, cool guy, love it.
Oh yeah. Man.
With that, shall we head on over to the Fantasy Factory?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I got back on track thanks to Kenyon.
You did?
Put belt to ass
Kenyon.
there. Yeah, thanks, Kenyon. Really appreciate that. I needed that pick-me-up win after a tie to you last week and then the loss in the first week. So propelled me. I think I was in like 7th place, and it's moved me up to 4th. So I'm nipping on people's heels. So, I'm guessing you had a solid week and the train kept rolling, right?
No. The train stopped last week. I did really good. I'm telling you, man, those weekends are killing me. It's like my players are just like balls to the walls all week. Then this weekend, they're like,
fuck it. Yeah.
Wow. So I ended up I ended up taking a loss there. I was going to ask you with your lineup, though.
Yeah.
Who's your Mookie replacement? So Mookie went down. Who's the guy that you have replacing him?
Oh, you know what? Actually, who I put in there? He plays a shortstop. I put in McGonigal. I moved him from utility role over to.
No, you had McGonigal.
Yep. Yeah, over to the my starting shortstop. So. Yep.
When did you get him? Was he an NA guy that you had?
Oh, yeah, I drafted. It was a late pick.
Was he a late rounder?
Yep. It was like it was in the teens, I think.
Shit, dude. There.
Yeah. It's one of those. I come up with a sneaky good pick, at least one per year. So that was
a good replacement from Betts when you think about it.
Yeah, the guy's been on a tear. Had his first home run here on Sunday, and I think he's gotten hits in almost every game that he's played this season. So, and just he looks like a veteran, just taking pitches and knowing the strike zone and everything, and just looks like a major league player.
I would have never guessed he's in his early 20s.
No, 21 years old, but he plays like he's in his late 20s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My team is kind of crazy right now just because I have Roki Sasaki. He's been sucking ass. But you know what I was gonna do? I was gonna actually text you this. I was gonna drop Arenado. I'm like, this is
he's that bad, huh?
He's just starting the season so bad, and I've been watching games, and he looks okay, but you can just tell he's just not getting. His hit's not going anywhere. It's like, come on, man, you're not even that old, but. I was ready to drop him. I had my finger on the button, and then he had a 5 RBI game.
And you're like, Andy's back.
And he's back because I needed pitching. I was like, man, Sasaki be killing me.
Yep. I
Lauder, too. Rhett Lauder's been shit in the bed. But
yeah, my pitching hasn't been – I've had a couple of good starters, but like George Kirby's been up and down for me. Like I said, Bubba Chandler sucked.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. Sonny Gray has been, usually he's Mr. Reliable. He's been kind of up and down. Just some very, very bad pitching. And
Sonny Gray always scares me because he's getting older, right? He's getting to that Jack Greinke age where it's like, are you going to be the same guy anymore? Or...
I saw your dad picked up Griffin Jacks. Hopefully he does better for him than he did with me. I had to drop that turd because he had like 3 games. He had like 3 games in a row where he got lit up like a pinball machine. I was like, all right, we're done here. Oh, he probably will. That's the curse of me when I play fantasy. But I was actually going to text you. Did you see who's on the IL again? Mr. Injured himself, Royce Lewis.
Dude, that dude lives on the IL.
Yep.
Him and Eloy Jimenez must come from the same stock or something, right? Man.
Yeah. Yep.
Damn, really?
Yeah, I think it's like a calf strain or something. It's a strain of something. So yeah. Yep. So he's out. He's gonna be out for a bit.
He probably freaked out. His body freaked out because it was like, well, we've been healthy for too long.
It's time to shut down.
And if you noticed, like before the first couple times he got injured, he was actually like a really good player. Like, man, this guy could do something. And then he started getting injured, and he's not the same player, man. He's just not. I don't know, man.
Nope. Yeah, so he's taking up an IL spot with Mookie. I think I have one more guy in the IL. I feel like, but had some injuries, and then it's been just ebbs and flows of fantasy. You just got to take the injuries and take the bad performances and just roll with it and see what you can find on the scrap heap, right?
Yeah, and the waiver wire, which you'll be talking about here shortly, it's been up and down. I haven't seen anybody where I'm like, I need that guy. Most of them are kind of like shit. So before we get to that, let's do some starter city. You ready to rock with it?
Oh, I'm ready. Let's cue the music.
All right, who we starting? Lars Nootbaar or Owen Casey? Outfield.
Owen Casey.
Altuve or Ketel Marte, second base?
Marte. The Astros have been sucking this year.
Bad. They're pitching.
Really bad.
Yikes, dude. Kuiper Ruiz or William Contreras, catcher?
Contreras.
Jake Berger or Andrew Vaughn, first?
Berger.
Eugenio Suarez or Corbin Carroll? I put him in the utility spot.
Yeah. Corbin Carroll.
CJ Abrams or Zach Neto, infield?
Zach Neto.
What do you think, Marla?
What do you think, Marla? I'm going to go. I don't know if Marla's going to agree with me, but I'm going to go with Zach Neto.
Josh Bell or Ben Rice?
Ben Rice.
Mickey Moniak or Brian Reynolds, outfield?
Mickey Moniak.
Byron Buxton or Wyatt Langford, outfield?
Wyatt Langford.
Dylan Dingler or Patrick Bailey, catcher?
Going Dingler. He's doing great so far.
Because Bailey's been. Taylor Ward or Josh Lowe?
Taylor Ward.
Jonathan Aranda or Isaac Paredes first?
Jonathan Aranda.
Miguel Vargas or Kerry Carpenter?
I'm going to go Vargas.
Hilo Ramos or Brandon Marsh, outfield?
Let's go Ramos.
Okay, we're going to have a battle of the Brandons here. Brandon Marsh and Brandon Nimmo.
Jeez. Brandon Marsh.
Nolan Shanuel or Nick Kurtz, first base?
Nick Kurtz has been turning it around recently. So
Has he?
Yeah, he
For
has.
you?
He's getting some hits. Finally got a home run the other day. First one of the
Yeah.
season. So he's been picking it up, thankfully.
Raleigh or William Contreras again, catcher?
Cal Raleigh.
J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez or Kyle Tucker with a slow start?
Julio Rodriguez.
Javier Baez or Ezekiel Tovar, shortstop?
Watch your pearls. I'm going to go with Javier Baez. He's been on a tear recently, too. I know. Jeez.
Outfield there.
Yeah,
Keep on the outfield. You and I were talking before.
We were. Ever since they moved him to the outfield after the Parker Meadows thing, I think he's had 5 or 6 hits or something, a couple, 1 or 2 a game for the last 5 games. It's crazy.
That's a good fucking outfielder. What do we got for waiver wire?
Here's 3 players I'm looking at this week here on the waiver wire to hopefully potentially boost your team up if you're in a bit of a slump. First is, we talk about Baltimore and their injuries. So this guy's been doing pretty well. It's Jeremiah Jackson for Baltimore. He's up 7% Yahoo leagues. He hit 3 dingers last week with 7 RBIs. So good looking out for him. Joey Cantillo for the Guardians is up 17% in Yahoo leagues. Once again, another fucking pitcher for Cleveland. They just keep churning these guys out. Pitched 5 2/3 innings last week, getting the win and fanning 9. And third is Jeffrey Springs for the Athletics. He's up 27% in Yahoo leagues. He went 7 innings last week with 6 Ks and earning the win. Those are the players I'm looking at this week on the waiver wire.
Yeah, all the top pitchers for Cleveland are usually never their high draft pick pitchers.
No,
either.
it's
They're
not.
Guys that they took chances on in the draft. Like, oh yeah, suddenly you're awesome.
Yeah, it's the Cleveland way. And not surprisingly, there they are sitting in first place. They're tied for first in the Central again. So
insane, dude.
They just keep moving along.
They're just
crazy.
good. They're just built well, man. Good manager too.
Yeah. Yep. So with that, shall we head on over to Collection Corner?
Let's do it.
All right. Yeah. If you're into baseball, you probably thought about getting into cards at some point. Market Movers makes it incredibly easy. Just scan any card with your phone and instantly see what it's worth. They've built a massive database with sales data on millions of sports and TCG cards from every major marketplace. So you're getting accurate, real-time values. You can track your collection, follow your favorite players, and understand the card market. Plus, members get monthly giveaways, a weekly newsletter, and invites to live events. Use code GONE20 for 2 weeks free, then 20% off for life at marketmoversapp.com.
Okay, this week I got an easy one for maybe easy.
Maybe.
I think
All
we'll
right.
get it.
All right.
I'll get it. This guy was one of the best pitchers to come out. I remember when he was first. He was drafted first overall in the 2000. I don't know, when was he drafted? The 2007 draft. I thought he was sooner than that, but he was first over on the 2007 draft. Hot commodity coming out. Signed a 6-year contract worth 11. He was making 11 or 8 million a year or something like that, or 8 million guaranteed. Anyways, he's a 5-time All-Star, World Series champion in 2018. Even though he's been to the World Series a few times. AL Cy Young Award winner in 2012. And 2-time AL ERA leader, was a strikeout leader at one point, played for, I'm going to not tell you the order he played with these teams, but the teams he played for are all mixed in there. The Blue Jays, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Tigers. He has 157 wins and 80 to 82 losses in his career, 3.32 ERA, over 2,000 strikeouts. He ended his career in 22 with the Dodgers with 2,076 strikeouts, when he was in the early 2010s, one of the best pitchers in baseball as a 5-time All-Star. I mean, I don't know if he'll ever go to the Hall of Fame, but he was just a guy that, so I always thought he'd be like, I thought Hunter Green was going to be the next this guy, but he just hasn't been that guy yet. But a really good left-handed pitcher. And there was do you know so far?
No, I'm drawing a blank.
All right. Got a couple more. A couple more here.
Spoon feed me this one. All right.
A lot of fans were devastated when he was traded to the Tigers.
Okay.
From the Rays. And the Tigers,
now I know what you're talking
Drew Smiley,
about.
Nick Franklin, Willie Adames to the Rays, which
Okay.
fucking kills me because Willie Adames was in that trade, and we could have had Willie Adames still.
Yeah.
And we got old. And remember, and that was that's when Austin Jackson ended up. That was a team trade where Austin Jackson went to Seattle. But this guy, I thought he finished his career kind of with the sputter, but it was a World Series champion nonetheless with Boston, I believe, in 2018.
Okay.
And he has a Fortnite problem. What am I talking about?
Yeah. I think the price is wrong with the Fortnite problem. I'm kidding. It's David Price.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
David Price.
Yeah, when you mentioned the trade, I was like, oh yeah, you're right. We fucking could have still had Willie Adames.
We could have had Willie Adames. And the thing is, David Price really did. I mean, that was like the downside of Adames or of Price's
David
career.
Price, yeah. I mean, we brought him in and thought that was going to put us over the top for for pitching, and then we just got outmanaged in the playoffs there.
Yeah. And this guy, he's been in World Series. He's been in enough postseason games. Big time pitcher. Remember when he was drafted in 2007? It was like, this dude is going to change the game. I mean, this is really good. And he was a really solid pitcher for about 5-6 years. And then he just kind of went downhill a little bit, but still left his mark. So,
Sure did.
So Market Movers with obviously their new, you can scan I don't know if it's out there. You know a little bit more about it maybe, but you can scan the cards now.
Yeah, so it's a mobile app only. You can't do it on the computer, but you can basically click on the little camera icon in the search bar, and then takes a picture of the card, and then it brings up, it analyzes the card and brings up the either if they're tracking it, they'll bring that up that way. If it's a raw tracking, or they'll find the comps for you, and you can add it to your collection that way instead of manually having to search. It's super cool. I've been using it a lot recently. It's just you can just blow through cards real fast. So.
Yeah, this is the next evolution of Market Movers, which is really exciting. Scan mine in. 2011 Topps Finest David Price Gold Refractor. It's a limited edition parallel card. Card number 37. Only made 50 copies of this card. A really good card. This card, I saw it up near $200 at one time. Now it kind of sits within the $100 range, and I've seen it go lower than that. But this card ebbs and flows. This is such a riser and a dropper. It's one of the largest I've seen in a while. So yeah, that's my Market Movers pick of the week.
Well, here's mine. Hopefully you can probably get it. I think you probably can with the last clue that I'll give. This guy hasn't been in the league for that long, but in the short time that he has been in the league, he's definitely made his mark. He's 25 years old. He's from Madison, Wisconsin. He was selected by the Atlanta Braves in the 3rd round with the 96 overall pick of the 2022 MLB draft. Was in the minor leagues for a bit and then made his major league debut with Atlanta. Made the opening day roster in 2025. Hit his first big league home run on April 16 against Toronto. Finished his 2025 campaign with a 274 average with 19 home runs and 80 RBIs. Career so far is a 275 average with 24 home runs, 95 RBIs, and he won NL Rookie of the Year last year. He kicked ass and took names. Yeah. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. I was kind of on the fence, but then when you started listing his stats, I remember looking at this guy, Drake Baldwin.
Player. Yep. Hell of a player. I remember us talking about when when the Braves traded away Contreras. They're like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? But now they found their new catcher of the future here with Drake Baldwin. So the Market Movers card I went with, Topps recently came out with their new Heritage line for 2026, and mine is a 2026 Topps Heritage Drake Baldwin All-Star card. So it's a nice little futures card there. Goes for anywhere to last one. It's only about $1.25, but still a pretty sweet looking card. I think it's got the 77 design, 76, 77 or whatever for Topps Heritage right now. So just a really cool looking card, and hold on to that because I think Drake Baldwin is going to be probably pretty good here for a long time. So
yeah, just another piece of the Braves that are
Braves just keep churning along,
going.
With that, shall we get the candles out and celebrate a birthday?
Another Brave here. I think I am.
You are looking at another Brave here, yeah. This is looking online at his cards here, looking on market movers. You got plenty to choose from. I really like these. They've done it through the years here. These Topps Ace cards. This one is one that I'm looking at right now is from 2023 Topps update. All Aces. Greg Maddux. It's Greg Maddux. So it's a happy birthday to Cubs and Braves great and Hall of Famer Greg Maddux, born on April the 14th of 1966. 355 career wins, a 3.16 ERA, 3,371 strikeouts. Started his career in Chicago with the Cubs, and then obviously went to the Braves, where he won Cy Young after Cy Young after Cy Young. Then went back to the Cubs for a bit, and then to the Dodgers, Padres, and then back to the Dodgers one more time, finishing out his career in 2008. An 8-time All-Star, World Series champion in 1995, a 4-time Cy Young Award winner from 92 to 95. Those were all consecutive. 18-time Gold Glove Award winner, a 3-time NL wins leader, a 4-time MLB ERA leader. His Chicago Cubs number 31 is retired, as well as his Atlanta Braves number 31 is retired. Part of the Cubs Hall of Fame and the Braves Hall of Fame, and obviously baseball's Hall of Fame, elected in 2014 with 97.2% of the vote. Can't believe he didn't get a full 100%, but I digress. Trivia on him is he is one of only 10 pitchers ever to achieve both 300 wins and 3,000 strikeouts, and is the only pitcher to record more than 300 wins, more than 3,000 strikeouts, and fewer than 1,000 walks. He had 999 walks in his career. So yeah. And then obviously there's the the Maddux, the term for a complete game with like less than 90 something pitches or so. I forgot the full thing, but it's basically he threw so many complete games where he had like thrown less than 90 pitches or something. It's very,
the Maddux
very
game,
efficient.
yeah.
The Maddux game, yeah. So happy birthday to Greg Maddux.
Yeah, and the ERA at 3.16 is pretty damn good for a career when you think about it. I mean, pitchers get older, right? I mean, their shit starts inflating just like a hitter. The older they get and they're not hitting as good, their shit starts dropping. But for a pitcher, their ERA starts inflating. So the fact that he was able to keep it under 3.5 for his entire long ass career, good for him, man.
Yeah, man. The Professor, Greg Maddux.
Happy birthday, sly professor person. Should have went in as a brave son of a bitch.
That's right. Didn't he go with the no logo, right?
The no logo, which is, I get it. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I kind of hope Justin Verlander does the same because
Yeah.
he can't snub the Astros and he can't
So the
Tigers. So I can see him going in with no logo.
Yeah. No, hopefully he'll do that. Either that or going as a Tiger. Don't go in as an Astro, all right?
Please don't go in at just an Astro. That'd be fucking, I don't think he ever will. He loves Detroit, man. So.
Agreed.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Well,
show,
that's
man.
a fucking show.
Yeah, good show. It's a lot of fun.
Speaking of cards, here's another Maglio. Look at that Maglio.
Oh, that's dope. It's a relic, too. Man, what year is that?
That is a 1905.
05. Okay, I was going to say it looked like one of the older relics right there. It's pretty dope.
Fuck yeah, man.
Nice. Very cool.
Well, shit, in the
Good show.
shows ahead. I mean, I think next week we're talking to Nicholas, right?
Yep. We got our Hobby Huddle segment for the month is next week, so looking forward to that.
Got some other stuff coming up as well. So, yeah, stay tuned. We keep chugging along, motherfuckers.
That's right. Just like the game itself. We just keep chugging along and just looking forward to seeing what's ahead.
Look on our other YouTube channel. We thank you guys for looking on, watching us on the Underdog Podcast Network. But also, as you're doing that, go over and subscribe, like our videos over there. You get additional more content, and it comes out a day sooner than the Underdog stuff too. So, be sure
pushing pushing hooks and stuff like that pretty much every day.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for that, and lots of fun stuff going on in that channel.
If you like us and you're not, you want us to be fucking awesome and keep doing this, fucking do it. Go over there and support us.
Like and subscribe, please. That'd be great.
Like and subscribe, guys. Appreciate it. But in the meantime, guys, have a great week. I hope you guys, all your teams are awesome this week, except if they play the Tigers.
That's right. Yep.
But have a great week, guys. We'll catch you all next week.
Deuces.